Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Adora. If you are new to this channel, thank you very much for stopping by, and if you're an old subscriber, I really want to appreciate your time and effort to watch my video once again. So I did a video some months back, many months back, on my YouTube channel, and it was actually me talking about my dislikes about the city where I live, what I'm not really enjoying about it. Just I was just talking about my experience about where I live and the things that are not really falling into places for me in the city, based on the fact that it's kind of a quiet place. It's far, far, far from London where I used to live. So it's just like, moving from a very busy and um, noisy place to the opposite. So it kind of affected me in a way that London, when I used to live in London, of course, everybody knows London is a very, very vibrant, a very busy, a very noisy place. 247, it's alive. And then moving to a place that is much quieter, moving to a place that is really far from it. Yeah, there was this definitely, if no matter who it is, you will surely feel it, unless maybe you have lived in London all your life and then you just feel, okay, it's time for me to retire, I want to move to somewhere very different and I don't mind it. And then maybe in that way you will really feel it, or you won't really like understand where I'm coming from. But I have always lived in a very busy place, even right from home, my home country. It has always been like a very noisy, busy. I've never really stayed in a quiet city without stress, without noise. No, 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 no. I've always lived like the London life from even from back home. So in that video I was actually expressing myself and saying my own experience about the difference between living in such a noisy place, a busy place, to coming to stay in a very quiet area. And just recently someone contacted me and said, oh, do you still live in the city, and is it still as you explained, like is it still as the way you've explained it in your video, is it still that way? Because she was thinking of coming over and then she felt my video kind of discouraged her or something like that. So I just said to her, listen, that's my experience. That I felt this way about a place doesn't mean everybody is going to feel that way about a place. We all have different personalities. I could go to a place right now, I could relocate to another country right now, and I just start falling in love with the place. But I'll be surprised to see people who live there, who have lived there, who will tell me, oh, you mean you like this place? Like this place is a shithole or something like that. But I might just like it because maybe it's the kind of thing I like, maybe it's the kind of environment I like, maybe because the streets are wider, or maybe because their cars are bigger, or maybe because their roads are narrower. There could just be one or two things there that will make me actually love the place that other people don't like. That's what makes everyone different. So because I say I don't like a particular place doesn't mean you should be affected by that, or does not mean that everybody would not like it. Or because I say I like a particular place doesn't mean everybody would like it or would not like it. Like for instance, I have always loved London. I like London. Like London is, anytime I go to London I don't feel like coming back. As busy as London is, as stressful as some people say it is, as expensive as London is, I know people who are dying to move out of London. Like if they had the opportunity to relocate from London today, they are ready to do it, from London to another city. And then they give reasons like, it's quite kind of expensive, London is too busy, London is, there are different reasons, because they are actually tired of that lifestyle. Meanwhile, I am here saying London is the kind of thing I want. It's my personality. I just want somewhere that is as bubbly as that. But you find people who say, oh no, London is just too noisy. London is too busy. I want somewhere that is very quiet. I want somewhere that is calm. I want somewhere that is this or that. That's what makes everyone different in this life. We can't all be the same. We can't all have the same personalities. People are there that love something that they are not able to have, and while there are other people that they have something, they do not want it, they want something else that is far away from them. That is just what makes this life interesting. So there are some other places, like, okay, for instance, when I used to live in London, I never knew like or the difference lifestyles you can find in London, you might not be able to find it outside of London, depending on where you are. And like I said, personality matters. I, for instance, one of the reasons why I said I prefer London to a lot of places, a lot of cities in the UK, is because London has variety of jobs. Like where I live right now, that's one of the problems I am encountering here, because I'm not able to get the kind of job I would have loved to get. I'm not able to like work in the field, that particular field I want. So I'm just like, making do with what is available. Whereas if I were to be in London, it would have been a different issue altogether. Because in London, of course, we have varieties of jobs. We have different kinds of careers you can choose from. There are different fields you might want to, um, experiment. But in so many cities, not just where I live, so many cities outside London, you just have to like make do with what they have right there, because either the job opportunities are not as much as what you see in London, or just that the career pathway right there is a bit narrower than what you have in London. So that's one of the reasons why I actually preferred to stay in London. And it's not as if every other place outside London is bad or is terrible. No, everyone has their reasons why they want to remain there. But like when it comes to certain issues, there are differences. And then this is where you now, as a human being, this is when you now, make your choice and say, okay, fine, I want to go with outside London, because even though the jobs are readily not available, I still want a quiet lifestyle. I still want a lesser traffic on the way lifestyle. I still want a cheaper accommodation lifestyle and all of that. You choose. You kind of, you know how exactly to make your choice when it comes to living in both places. Another reason why I am where I am is because of children. Now, this is where family sacrifice comes in. It's because of family. Because I am of the opinion that London is a little bit too busy to raise kids. It's a bit too, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a lot of people are actually very scared raising children in London for different reasons. Now, I'm not saying that there are not other places outside London that have one or two incidents of funny crimes and all of that. But it's just that sometimes the cases we hear from over there in London is really, really scary. So that's why most people choose to move outside of London to have a family. Another reason why living outside of London, could be a little bit beneficial is because life outside of London is a little bit on the cheaper side. Now, when I say on the cheaper side, I mean just in terms of accommodation. Because really, apart from accommodation, I'm just trying to think. I don't really think I can remember any other thing that is really expensive in London compared to other places. Food in London is cheap. I was very, very surprised to find out that in London, transportation for kids, for children, is free. Whereas where I live, you have to pay. If you go on the bus, you have to pay for your child. As far as your child is 5 years old and above, the child has to pay. So, for instance, now, if I have to pay, if I am saying, oh, I want to live outside of London because life there is cheaper, but in one way or the other, you are fine, you're paying a cheap rent, but when it comes to transportation, you are still paying something for the kids. Meanwhile, you go to London, you pay a more expensive rent, but you have free transportation for the kids. So this thing is just like, it's not here, it's not there. It's a little bit of take from here and take from there. So I personally do not really think London is as expensive as they hype it to be. Yeah, accommodation wise, that's the only place I actually think, okay, here it's on the high side. But the standard of life in London too is also on the high side. The minimum wage in London is also like more than what you find in most places outside of London. So you can actually get jobs that will pay you more than what you will get if you are working outside of London, even if it's the same job, even if it's the same role, the same field, the same career, everything. The difference in pay in London is more than what you find outside of London. So These are one of the reasons why people make their choices. Where should I live? Should I live in London? You put so many things into consideration. You put the social life in London. If you are the kind of person who likes a busy social life, you put that into consideration. You put the transportation cost outside of London into consideration. Bear it in mind that, like I have just said, like where I live, if you're taking the bus, you've got to pay for your children, whereas in London it is cheaper. Outside of London, if you don't have a car, it's terrible. It's not really a good experience, in the sense that the transport system outside of London is really terrible, especially in many cities, many towns. It's terrible. Where I live, you have to wait like almost every 30 minutes to get on the bus, or to get a bus going to where you are going. And what betide you if you miss the bus after the 30 minutes, you have to wait for another 30 minutes, to get another bus to where you're going to. So if you are not driving, it's a terrible thing. But in London, I personally think if I live in London, I don't even think I need to drive, honestly, because the transport system there is fantastic. Is it the trains? Is it the buses? It's beautiful. So these are so many things you put into consideration before relocating. It also has a lot to do with your personality, not just because people are moving into that place, not just because people are talking about it, but you check yourself, check what you like, and then check your finances too. Can you actually afford to stay in London? If you think, okay, fine, it's actually much cheaper for me living outside of London, I prefer to go to outside of London and stay there because I can afford the rent and afford all of them. Yeah, that's fine. But staying outside of the London, how well can you accept any job that is available? How well can you struggle to get jobs? Are you going to struggle with the living cost there? Because definitely, if your job pays you less, then your standard of life is also kind of reduced. The standard of your quality of life, everything is also affected. It all depends on what you want. It all depends on your preferences in life. And honestly, so I think that before you relocate to anywhere, there's so many things you should actually put into consideration. Your personality, or honestly, it matters a lot. I know people, I have friends who live outside of London, who live in some cities, in some towns, who are depressed just because of the boredom of those places they live in, the quietness, I don't know how to explain it. There's just this thing about living in such places that you, compared to when you're living in a very busy city, you can't experience it. I have friends who, if they have the opportunity of moving out from where they are living right now, moving out from their cities or their towns, they would rush it. They would take it in a twinkle of an eye. All of these things actually matter. Before you make your move, before you relocate outside of London, or if you're coming to the UK, wherever it is you're coming from, before you make that big move, I think it's always very good you go there, test the waters, check how the place is. I always advise people, check. If you have to go there and spend 1 week, if you have to go there and spend 2 weeks, just move around, see how things work there, see how the people are, ask questions about the job opportunities and availabilities, look at the transport system, because all this will definitely matter if you have to relocate there. That is for sure. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.